everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you're well and safe. Today I'm going to do a VR to Amethyst Ascension with the excellent tag that has been going around. I've been loving seeing everyone's picks. Hashtag top 11 current favourite decks. So I'm really excited to share the picks that I have. I think this is such a great idea because there's no pressure, because these choices could change at any moment. So there's no pressure at all to say that this is the definitive favourite list, but I'm really excited to share. So get yourself a nice hot drink, settle back, relax and enjoy. So let's just get right on into it. I am so grateful for this tag because how many times do I feel like I want to share this deck and I want to share that deck, and this is a favourite and this is a favourite and this is a favourite and this is a all-time favourite classic and this is a, I don't know, just like soul deck. And you just, I don't know, like depending on the day, depending on the mood, depending on what work you're doing, depending on where the moon is, it changes so frequently. And so I just think this is such a great idea because even though this is a snapshot, a moment in time of like the favourite decks right now, I was still sort of panicking. Oh, is this actually an accurate kind of depiction? And I was like, well, it's pretty much decks that I'm using currently and some new to me decks and some decks that are just like, wow, I love this right now. The ones that I've had in the past, it's not that I've been through times where I didn't love them, it's just that I was maybe working on other decks that I was loving at the time. And so that's how I'm kind of conceptualizing it at the moment in my head anyway. Let's just get right on into it. I just want to say that there are two decks that I kind of say are like soul decks for me, and they're not here, but I don't think that's a problem because this isn't about that. So I am drinking some peppermint tea and got it in my, can you see it? Wouldst Thou Like to Live Deliciously mug, which is amazing. It's from Disturbia, which I think is a British company. Obviously the line is from The Witch, which is like the most amazing film by Robert Eggers. So yeah, let's just get right on into it. A new deck to me, well, new-ish, I suppose, one of the newest ones. This is the Lacrimosa Tarot by Rose Bay Tarot, and for those of you who don't know, they have an account on Instagram and they make really, really beautiful decks. And actually I've wanted a couple of their decks for a really, really long time. So this is kind of like print on demand. This is an art reference, so it doesn't tell you anything about the actual cards specifically. So I got the one that was not gilded. So this deck is essentially a bunch of classic paintings that have been curated by Rose Bay Tarot, and a lot of them are zoomed in moments from paintings, and they're, you know, very famous paintings as well. And it allows for a lot of intuitive freedom with reading, and there are themes in it that really speak to, I believe, the witch, and also that really work well for working with Divine Feminine, whether that's Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. I think working with Lilith, these cards work really, really well. I really have been enjoying working with this deck. It's quite dark. I tried a couple of times to read in candlelight with this, and I couldn't really see the cards properly, and so in the morning I was like, oh, that's the full picture. And so I highly advise that you have good lighting, because a lot of the paintings, as you can see, are very dark, so you do need some good lighting, some good daylight. But yeah, they're just incredibly beautiful. So really, really amazing work. And I just love art decks. I love having art in my decks, and I think that this is something that Rose Bay Tarot is particularly good at curating and putting together. So definitely worth investing in this, and I would definitely like to invest in some more of their decks as well. So I've really, really been loving this. And I mean, I think really working with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, Lilith and Eve for me has been where this has shone so far for me, because I do see that kind of lineage, I suppose, could be referred to as like the rose lineage. Yeah, I mean, I would just say that lineage of Lilith to Mary Magdalene and Eve to Mother Mary. There's certainly a lot of complexity there that I've experienced working with these Divine Feminine figures in my practice. And I have more concrete practices with Lilith and Mother Mary and then Mary Magdalene, but Eve is still a little bit enigmatic for me, so still on a journey with that. So that is the Lacrimosa Tarot by Rose Bay Tarot. Next up, an oldie but a goodie. This is the Tantric Dakini Oracle. So this is just stunning, and it's kind of, I think it's kind of like the mother of all collage decks. It's just got such vibrant, beautiful imagery, and it speaks so profoundly and sharply to whatever you're asking about. Honestly, I've had some really amazing clarifying answers using this deck. Look at that. Again, working with Mary Magdalene, again working with Mother Mary, Eve, any divine feminine wisdom, any, I think, divine masculine wisdom as well. I just think connecting with the divine. And definitely that Shakti energy as well. It's a really, really beautiful one. So I got, in a recent pull, got this card, and I also got another card with horses in it, and then horses came up in something else. I still never got clarity from like what that was all about, why it was of importance for me, but I sort of focused on, because that card there said horseplay, I focused on the playful aspect of that card. I think this is quite a slow deck for me. This is the other one I got. Horse in a Tree, Asylum. So I got that play, but then also like restful time. So coming back to sort of oneself and having time for yourself just to marinate and not listening all the time to lots of other words and lots of other content coming at you. But yeah, I find that this threefold riddle, I think it is a lot like a riddle, and you kind of have to work with it slowly, I think, anyway, to get the wisdom out of it. In my experience, I found like I can't work with this in a fast way. It demands kind of respect, and the book as well is really, really thick and meaty, and would highly recommend this. And so that is the Tantric Dakini Oracle. Oh, that's just the most beautiful card. The Rose Garden. I love it. Okay, so this, I don't know why, don't ask me. This is apparently a classic for me, and it's probably not very popular because this art is so body beautiful and erotic, kind of 90s, 80s style art, and I just don't know why. I just love this deck. Like, there's something so fantastical, something so pagan, something so witchy, something so, yeah, erotic about it, and so some not suitable for work images as well, quite a few actually. But there's something very Lilithian, something that just works with Lilith very, very well. Draconian vibes as well. I mean, and there's a sort of interplay between softness and shadow, or light and shadow, and the sort of fairy tale aspect as well. I find myself more drawn to this than I do Tarot of the Vampires, and I'm drawn to Tarot of the Vampires a lot. This kind of has sort of a more of an otherworldly quality for me, more fantastical, and I just love Roy's art, even though it's body beautiful. I just love it. And it speaks really beautifully to whatever situation. You'd think it would actually be really, really fierce and harsh, but it's not. It's actually very soft, very gentle, very comforting, very persuasive, but it's sort of, it won't mince words, but it is gentle. And actually, sometimes the little guidebook, it's one of those tiny little low scarabeo ones that you barely ever look at, but occasionally I'll have an interpretation for whatever question I've asked and the card that comes up, but I'm just like, I wonder what the guidebook says, and because it only has like a couple of lines. The Queen of Chalices, so the Queen of Cups, the companion, she who converts scratches into caresses and chains to flowers, the look of poetry, the absence of fear. So it's very poetic. So actually it's really, really nice to get oracular divinatory message from the guidebook as well, even though it's like, as you know, you wouldn't imagine this to be a very powerful guidebook, but it is. It's actually really poetic, really beautiful. So yeah, this deck continues to surprise and delight me, and it's by my bedside, and it pretty much always is on rotation at the moment, and I think for the last few years it's been in my favourites for the year, and it's not really going anywhere. I think it's a powerful one for me. I don't think many other people share this deck. I don't think many other people like this deck, but for me, I love it, and this is one of my favourite cards. The Lovers. It's just so glorious. So yeah, for me, this is kind of the pinnacle. It would be good to see a version of this kind of art, but with like more diverse body shapes and sizes, and I have shared decks that are more diverse than this, that are kind of erotic or have that sort of fantasy edge. But this one, for some reason, the messages just really work for me. So I'm going with it. Oh, look, there it is. I'm going to take that as a message. Okay. So another quite new to me deck, and kind of opposite, Fairytale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. This is like a reprint, and I have a number of Lisa Hunt's other decks. The Shapeshifter Tarot, Fantastical Creatures Tarot, and the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot, which I shared around Christmas time when I was talking about spirits of Yuletide. This is a reprint from US Games, nice sturdy box, and a lovely little guidebook. It's very sweet. So in the guidebook it shows you what the story is, what the fairy tale is, what culture it's from, and then keywords and then symbols and meanings. And it's very kind of woodland fairy tale coded, but it's got that same magical illustration that those other decks that I have do, that I just adore. And I think as well, like, because they were coming out similar times, I forgot that they were two different decks. But the Linnea Witherspoon deck, the Romantic Fairytale Tarot, I wanted that one too, but that one came out as a Kickstarter, so I didn't end up getting that one just because of the time. I absolutely love this fairy tale, The Princess and the Frog. So some of the fairy tales that I've pulled, I didn't know of particularly, and then some of them will be obviously very familiar. This one. And some of the titles have been changed. But as you can see, just beautiful illustrations. They're very in-depth, you know. I've had this one once or twice actually. Oh, I love this one with all the sisters. It's fairy tale. Oh, is it the Dancing Princesses? I think that's the one it is. Is that Aladdin? There's a lot, obviously, of fairy tales. And I haven't pulled all the cards because I've only had this for a short amount of time, but I've really been enjoying it. So this is my most recent acquisition. So I think I've used it maybe 10 times on the evenings. Lovely backs as well, so I'm just getting to know it. I'm really enjoying it though. But it's, I don't know why, it's a nice way to read tarot for yourself, to have a story, because then you can put yourself in the shoes of the characters in the card, but you can also consider the story in an archetypal way and look at the whole story and the themes present and the action, and thinking of it less in a kind of human moralistic kind of way and more from like a bird's eye view, almost in a way like a seeress or a prophetess might, sort of imagining a story unfolding and the intricacies of a story, and then you can kind of apply the same, I guess, storytelling or story unfolding process to your own situation. It just helps, I think, to get out of the head a little bit. That's what I've been thinking anyway when I've brought readings to this deck. So that's so far the Fairytale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. I don't think there will ever not be a time that this deck won't hit hard. This deck has always been so powerful and profound for me, and it's just, so this is a very emotional and personal deck for me. I can't ever imagine I would read for anybody else with this deck because of the way that I'm connected to it and the themes that are present in it. It just feels so personal, and I really love it. I love the size of it as well, and it always surprises me. I tend to only, again, use it for, it's funny because I do this, like I only use my very favourite decks for very serious things. Maybe it's because all my favourite decks are serious decks. I don't know. But this is the thing, I think I have a lot of decks, but I don't have, there are lots of people who have more decks than me, but I feel like I can't work with them all now. Like I feel like I don't give the love to them, and even just from a, like I miss some decks, but then I'll be like, oh, I don't want to work with that deck because I want to work with this deck, but then I miss that deck that I'm not going to work with. And so it's, I used to have a lot more peace around choosing decks than I do now. I mean, I tend to still just follow an intuitive process, so in the moment it's okay, but when I'm then looking at my collection, I think maybe it's because some of it's in different places. The decks that are in here I have less access to than the ones that are right next to where I sleep. So yeah, I think maybe that's why, but this always is with me. This is kind of, this has a vibe that, I mean, I probably would never ever grab a tarot deck if my house was on fire, but if there was a time, if there was hypothetically pulling a deck off the shelf in a fire, it would probably be this deck, in all honesty. I don't even know if it's still available anymore. I'll try and link all of the decks, of course, as far as I'm able to. So that's the Black Lily Major Arcana, and it does have Minor Arcana, so I'm not even sure why it's called that. And the box is a little bit beaten up, but well loved. It probably needs a bag, to be fair. Next up is the Mary Magdalene Oracle by Megan Waterstone, and a friend of mine was the one who influenced me to get this deck because I had seen it and I had thought it was nice, and I have another deck by Megan Waterstone and I read the book by Megan Waterstone, and I did feel like this would be a deck I'd enjoy, but for some reason I wasn't all that enamoured with the art at first. But understanding that this deck is it stays quite close to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and it's very good for actually learning the principles, and it definitely brings you back to a sense of being at peace and being with the divine and being held, and that has been really, really powerful and profound. And I've actually felt the presence of Mother Mary here as well in this wisdom coming through, and so it really does feel like a very, very sacred, beautiful deck. I really do feel like this was, you know, created with lots of wisdom and knowledge, and you know, with the best intentions as well. I feel that it has a sacredness to it. So definitely during times of struggle and, you know, when you're feeling really, really hopeless almost, this is a powerful, powerful, powerful deck. So really enjoy this. So then I have a deck you've probably seen recently. This is a Lilith deck. Lilith, I can't remember what it's called. The creator's on Etsy, and it's an oracle for Lilith, essentially. This lives on the altar space. I love the art, I love the messages. They always really speak to truth and open up passages for conversation and allow me to sort of contemplate some things that are going on. So this has been really powerful since I got it last year, I think. So I will link the creator below. It's not a very large deck at all, but yeah, it's a powerful one. I really do enjoy this one. So that's the Lilith Oracle. So this is a fairly new deck to me. This is the Gothic Tarot by Joseph Fargo, and I picked this up when I was reading when I was reading Dacre Stoker's Dracul in February, which was Candy's reading challenge prompt for that month. I have a lot of vampire decks already, as you probably can tell, but it was just nice to add another one, and I really enjoyed this. I used it a handful of times, and I felt like the imagery was close to how I almost imagine Dracula in my mind, you know, how I imagine some of that imagery to look. So this is very Nosferatu-esque. And I also saw Nosferatu this year, which I loved. I would definitely recommend. So there are pips, as you can see, but they're fairly illustrated. Some of them are a bit simpler than others, but I still really enjoy this. I mean, I'm sure that it's not many people's favourite deck again, but for me, it's a really nice one to have. And I have this on my shelf, and I will definitely be enjoying this again during spooky season. Whoops. Almost need like zoomed in, like higher resolution on some of the illustrations. And for those of you who like Dracula, I would also recommend that you read Dacre Stoker's Dracul, although I've heard that the prequel is not as good. It's on my shelf. I got a second-hand copy, so I will read that at some point. I love this card and this one. That's gorgeous. So next up is this deck by Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot. It's Greek mythology, essentially, and there are the names of whoever the card is aligned with, and obviously from very popular paintings, etc. I mean, it's a really beautiful deck. I worked with this briefly a while back when I was talking with Hecate. Again, came in against Medusa, and I've picked it out again because Stephanie came through for me, and also, yeah, Medusa again came back. So I think it's a good deck to be working with at the moment, and I really, like I said before, I really enjoy this artwork, and there's just so many of them as well, so that's really nice. So many. So if you work with the Greek pantheon, or if you work with any specific deities from Greek mythology, then this is probably a good one. So you see, this is Demeter, that was Demeter. Also, they work really archetypally as well. It can be really nice as a clarifying card. Dionysus has come through for me before as well. Next up is the Ritual Tarot by Tierra May. I love the Cave of Sybil as well, but it's a little bit more specific, being an oracle deck, and it's quite shadowy and it's quite womb-like as a container. So I feel like this can be worked with in a number of ways, whereas the Cave of Sybil feels quite specific. Again, just really beautiful, beautiful collage art, and I don't think I've ever really seen work like this. I think Tierra May's working on a project as well at the moment, which they're sharing on their social media, which I can't remember what it's about, but I remember it looked beautiful. Oh, that's it. I think it's like a serpent deck, or a snake, yeah. So this is, again, it's just beautiful for working with deity, for getting like clarity on certain situations. And again, like I tend to go to this deck for like higher readings, more important readings. But again, like working with Mother Mary, it kind of goes with this territory, working with the witch energy, the witch archetype, any divine feminine really. Yeah, there's so much here that you can pull on. And I do think, you know, I think like the art that is in tarot decks, it makes the art of reading tarot different for each reader, again with each deck, because it's a different process. If I were to pick up this deck and work with it versus the Dark Royal, or versus the Lisa Hunt tarot, or the Rider-Waite-Smith, like it's just completely kind of different. And I think that is a really, really beautiful way to explore intuitive reading. This, I did struggle with this actually in terms of like knowing what the cards were. So it's really good that they are actually on the back. I mean, obviously with something like this you can count, but in some cases I was not sure. There we go. It's a very, very big deck. And next up is the Tarot of Aphrodite in a completely different direction. I just love this, again, for the artwork, but also the energy of it. It's just such a glorious energy with this deck. I love this Venusian energy. I should just turn it this way. I love this Venusian energy. I love this gentle pink gilding. Again, it's very, very clear. I think that the production value is really, really great. So it's not a cheap deck, but there are reasons for that. And I think for me, it's been worth it. And I pair it a lot with Pearl Oracle. I think that's what it's called. This is stunning. Also, I think you can get a similar vibe with the new deck from Gabby Hirstick as well, the Love deck. And then also the Baba Studios Romantic Tarot. I'm spacing so much on the names of tarot these days. I used to be like, things would come to me so easily, the names of things, and now I'm like spacing on all of them. I think it's perimenopause. Yeah. Brain. It's gloriousness. Huh. It's just a really beautiful, beautiful deck. I just can't. Oh, oh, gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So yeah, for working with Aphrodite, for working with Venus, for working with love, any readings really about like connecting to the divine feminine or, you know, softer kind of energies. Just love it. It's stunning. So that is the Tarot of Aphrodite. It's a beautiful box, as you can see as well. So a deck that nearly made it was the Rose Oracle and Sacred Waters Oracle as well. Those decks. They are in my decks from last year video if you want to see. And then, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't do this, just an honourable mention, the Queen Mab. This is just a lovely one for working with like deep messages that you need to sit with for a few days, pondering deep questions about, you know, future, about anything really, love, work, health, family. You know, I think it's great for sort of self-actualization, self-love, shadow work, connecting with divine feminine. Obviously it's very fae, it's very Queen of the Fae. Again, it's just got beautiful energy to it. And the art is stunning as well. This is by Tess Whitehurst, this deck. It's got kind of a wild energy as well. It's, again, sort of vampiric and witchy. And I think this is the kind of deck that appeals to a lot of people as well, because it appeals to witchy people as well as sort of more spiritually aligned kind of new agey people. So I think it's quite a popular deck for that reason. But yeah, it's beautiful. And it's quite similar to some of the Lucy Cavendish decks as well, which a lot of them I love. So you can't really go wrong with them. And honestly, the messages hit hard and they are oddly specific. Like they're really not as, they're quite strong and fierce, I think. I mean, they're still sort of sensitive but strong, fierce. And yeah, from the Queen of the Fae, I mean, I would be terrified to meet the Queen of the Fae. So I think that speaks for itself. So that is the honourable mention. So there you have it, those are the decks, and if I was to film this again tomorrow, there might be some slight changes. So I'm already thinking there are a few other decks that almost made it and that you have not seen today, but they are still in the rotation, or some of them aren't in the rotation, but they're still well-loved decks, you know. So I think maybe I should do a walkthrough of the tarot shelves soon so you can see what I've got. It's not so easy to see what I've got because everything, it's not like really perfectly stacked. It's quite higgledy-piggledy because I'm always grabbing and putting things back in the wrong place. I say wrong, but there is no specific place for any of them really. It just, they go where they go. But yeah, that's the practice so far, and those are the decks. And I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye. So thank you so much for joining me for the video. Thank you to Amethyst Ascension for the tag. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what one of your favourite decks is at the moment. Please obviously like, share, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon, there's an old TikTok page, there's Instagram, there's Ko-fi, there's Buy Me a Coffee page, there's a direct PayPal link as well, and a super thanks. So you can find those down below in the description box if you'd like. But thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you stay well and safe, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video really soon. Mwah! Take care, many blessings, bye.